Last year I reviewed the Gamemax N80 and it was a fantastic case, but that was on the higher end side. Over here is the Gamemax Storm 2 MB, that's the case name, is a micro ATX case. And you know what? I think it is such a wasted opportunity that Gamemax does not promote this case well enough, at least to my opinion, to what I see when I look at Gamemax product page for this case, because it is such a fantastic case and there are many details that are not highlighted in the product page that makes this a very compelling case for the price point. Now let's begin. I'm going to start by stating the price point of in Malaysian ringgit is about 175 last I know. That comes to less than 50, probably 40-ish US dollars. And what you get in this package is fantastic, and I'm going to give you 5 points on why I think this is probably the best micro ATX case at this price point, as long as you don't mind the very bare basic design. It is bare basic, but what it does everything really well. So let's begin. The first thing is that this case comes with 4 120mm fan. Now fans are common, but the beauty of these fans is that 1, it has beautiful RGB LED. 2, all of them are PWM fan with ARGB pin. This is fantastic because there are many cases at this price point. Usually they come with fans with proprietary connection where you cannot control your speed nor your RGB, or even if you can, you will find difficulty. In this case, at least here in Malaysia, comes with 4 nice fans that you can hear. It's running silent now, it cools well. Of course, I didn't have to benchmark when everything works fine. So basically at this price point, you get fans that even if one day, let's say you want to replace the fans with something like, say, from Arctic, Noctua, or whatever else, these fans can be repurposed in other cases and you will not have issue because it is not of proprietary connection. Really fantastic stuff. Now the next thing I want to point out is that these fans in RGB, they are supported by one fantastic item that they put in there, which is the hub for ARGB and PWM. Now it has many ports and you can connect it to, let's say, everything, connect it to the CPU for the ARGB and for the power of the fans. So really an ARGB hub is it's not that cheap, but yet I wouldn't say it's an expensive product, but then it adds to the cost. Let's say you want to get it on your own. But the beauty of it is that it came as part of the case. It is easily accessible. You can connect whatever fans you're right. In this case right now, I'm connecting everything, all the fans to the hub, and the ARGB of the fans are to the hub. So it settles a lot of problem. Like example, if typically if you're using an inexpensive case, you might be using an entry-level motherboard and they have fewer fan connectors and ARGB pin. In this case, well, even you don't have ARGB pin, connect to the SATA power of the hub and you get your rainbow puke, which is really nice. A great touch from Gamemax for this case. And we are just 2 out of 5 on the way through of what I like about this product. Next up is the top panel. In fact, there are 2 matters of the top panel. The first one is that it comes with USB Type-C head connection, or should I say USB Type-C port. That's the word for it. See, even though the connectivity is just USB 3.0, not the Type-C header for Type-C motherboards, of course, you are looking at a budget case, and a lot of micro ATX, really entry-level ones, they don't have those kind of Type-C headers. That's good for this case because it doesn't have the Type-C header. It uses 3.0, so literally every board has. So the advantage as a user is that you have a case that supports C2C cable. Not everyone wants that, but for me, I like to have that. And for some people, you might have SD card readers, and the newer SD card readers, they're using USB Type-C as well. So this is really handy. It's not the USB Type-C header speed that you might expect, but at least it is something there which I think is really handy. And let's go to the fourth point. This is something that I have not seen in any case for a long time. When I say really long time, I'm referring to something I saw in cases, PC cases, like many decades ago, and I've not seen it on any case until now. And that is the key to lock the system. So on the manual it's called P-lock, but the manual does not explain what it does. Okay, even the product page does not highlight it. But when I was looking through the accessories provided in the package, I saw two keys that are provided, and I figured, well, that's a thing. And being the old school person that I've used all these things before, I know immediately what it's for. So basically, when it is set to disable, your power button is disabled. For example, if it is set to off, you cannot power on this machine at all unless you short the motherboard, which you have to open the system. No one wants to do that. So this is something that's handy, especially let's say you're a family, okay, you have children or you have siblings and you don't want them to power on your PC, and assuming they don't know how to short the thing, that can lock the system. Or especially if you're a parent, you don't want your child to power on the system, lock it until the time that the kid gets permission to on, and you provide the key or you unlock the thing. And conversely, is like when your system is on and you disable this P-lock, this means no one can power off the system through the power button. Of course, they can still switch the power supply at the back, but you get the drift. So basically, this is something that I am very I'm pleased to see on the case. So this means if you are running it as an office PC, you can disable the RGB, whatever, but at least you have an option to enable or disable for people to power on and off your system. Really nice. And the last point I'm going to touch about is how this case is so well thought of. As you can see in this system right now, I have a PNY RTX 5080 graphics card, which is a pretty big graphics card. It's an RTX 5080. The only card that I have bigger than this one is my Aorus RX 9070 XT. So yeah, really pretty much if they can fit an RTX 5080 like this, and this is a budget case, I'm just putting in a 5080 being the most expensive card I have, just to show you how high you can go with a system like this. It's Micro-ATX motherboard and a 240mm AIO. And speaking of AIO, we've touched on the graphics card part. You can see high-end graphics card part, so you don't have to worry about your other graphics card unless for some reason it's exceedingly long, much longer than this one. That's beyond what we can do, but just telling you that an entry-level case like this can support nice long graphics card. Now let's touch on the AIO part. I like this thing because there are many cases, some price even higher than this, there are ATX Micro-ATX models that they do not have enough clearance for the AIO, the CPU cooler, the liquid cooler here. As you can see, this one, the radiator is on, the fan is on, basically normal size AIO. And guess what? The DIMM slots are not blocked, which is really nice. There are some cases, even the higher end ones, I've seen, I think it's my Pentax N2 719. Yeah, it has the kind of gap that I'm not satisfied with is where after installing the AIO, you have trouble reaching the clip for the DIMM slots. Like sometimes you just want to change RAM. These things, I know it's not a common thing for users, but it is troublesome for enthusiasts like me who want to change RAM, or for people who want to fix PCs, you know, built already, and to troubleshoot on the RAM part, you have to detach the AIO. What I'm saying is, I like that there's good clearance on the top area. It might not be something that everyone looks at, but it's certainly something that I absolutely appreciate, and I wish more cases provide sufficient clearance for the AIO. I do understand that some arguments would be that is not necessary because entry level, probably they'll just put two fans at the top and use a tower cooler. Fair enough. But I mean, it's a good case as it is, and people do want AIO. It's good to have the clearance for that. And that's it for my video for this budget case. Typically my case review isn't that long, but for this one I feel it's justified because at this price point, sub RM200, last I know, exact price 175. Regardless, even if it's 200 or more, let's say the price has increased, it is still a great value proposition, at least to what I see, based on what is provided here, because it's complete. It's not like some cases that I reviewed before where the fan was so loud, and then you can't tune anything and it's proprietary and all this kind of thing. It comes with PO, it comes with USB Type-C. Basically, it's generally something that many case makers miss when it comes to entry-level cases. So overall, great job from Gamemax for a very well thought of PC case. And I hope Gamemax does a better job when it comes to describing this case on their website and wherever else, because really when I was informed that they're sending this case over, I thought it's just going to be a boring entry-level case, but I didn't know it's a case that I really like so much that if I were to build PCs as a dealer or something, this would be my priority choice because it is so complete. Alright, enough praises for this case. Huge thanks to Gamemax for sending this over. I have another video coming up, which is about their power supply, which I'm also having in here, which I'll be testing it with the RTX 5080. And with that, stay tuned. The next video will be coming out in a few weeks probably. And that's it for this one, the Gamemax Micro-ATX PC case, the Storm 2 MB. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Do remember to subscribe if you haven't, and signing off. See you next time. Bye bye.